All right, please forgive the glisten and sweat. I just finished working out. But we talked about having the 3 steps you need to quit your 9 to 5. We talked about the 3 steps. The first step was plan, okay? I want to elaborate on that because I want to make it clear that you need to do this stuff before you actually leave, right? We get emotional. We want to quit. I had a bad day the other day. I wanted to leave that blankety blank that day, right? Went home, thought about it, and I realized, okay, no, I've done this before. I've done this a million times. I need to have a plan. What I specifically mean is this. You need to put money away every month until you get at least 3 months worth of expenses. So that means if your expenses are roughly $3,000 a month, you need $9,000. And I know $9,000 is a lot of money, right? And I'm not saying that like, oh yeah, just grab $9,000 off the shelf. I'm not saying that at all. I know it takes a lot of time, but the longer time you have before you leave, or if you feel like they're going to do layoffs, if you feel like you just got to quit, please do yourself a favor and build up that emergency fund. Your job before you leave is to build up that emergency fund, preferably while you're still working, okay? That means however many months out, 6 months out, 9 months out, a year out, save your money, save a little bit of money per month, whether it's 200, 500, whatever, right? So if you need 9,000 and you're going to save $500 a month, that means 18 months. And you're like, hold up, I can't wait 18 months. I can't survive in this piece. 18 more months. Okay. Well, don't forget Christmas, right? You get Christmas gifts, you get birthday gifts. You probably still have some type of hustle you do on the side that gives you maybe $150 here and there. You got tax refund. If you got kids, you got, you talk to your girl, talk to your wife. But you have a way to get emergency funds. You get little chunks at a time in addition to your regular savings. But your job, your singular job, is to get the $9,000 or 3 months worth of expenses, okay? Now, if that 9,000 or if that 3 months worth is a lot of money, 9,000 is a lot of money, what you could do is try to lower your expenses while you still have a job so that you don't need 9,000. Maybe you need 6,000. Maybe you need 5,000. Maybe you can get your monthly expenses down to $1,500 a month. That way you only need $4,500. You get what I mean? So the higher your expenses are, the more money you need in your emergency fund. And I mean just a regular savings account. I keep calling it like this special thing. It's just a regular checking account. It's just, we're going to call it an emergency fund, right? All right. A couple of big points. The first point being, if you can lower your monthly expenses, ultimately you're going to last a lot longer on your own. You have got to get rid of every unnecessary expense that's possible. Like if you can downgrade your car and still have a car, if you can get a roommate, if you can whatever, it's not necessarily about trying to work harder. Find a way to get rid of some of those bills. If you don't need them, they're discretionary. You're going to the gym and you're not really, hey, I'm not saying kill your gym membership. I'm just saying kill the stuff that you don't really need, because in the long term, your ability to last, my ability to last 15 years without a job was because I kept lowering my expenses while I had a job before I quit. Okay? And in my case, I got laid off. Now, I felt it was coming. I didn't know when it was coming. To me, it came like a month earlier than I expected. Actually, it came a month late. So I was a little over-prepared. But here's what happened. And this is a cautionary tale for anyone who wants to use a credit card or think a credit card is going to be there when you need it. So I had about 2.5 months worth, right? And so I was feeling good. I felt like I could do like one more paycheck, but then they laid me off that Monday. So I couldn't get my extra half a month to get full 3 months. But I'm like, that's cool, because I had a credit card and the credit card had a $10,000 limit, right? I don't know why they gave me $10,000. I should not have qualified for that at that time, but they gave it to me. And I'm thinking, okay, cool. So I got my 2.5 months I got $10,000, and that's like a whole lot of months. So I'm good. Bro, the recession hit. I hadn't really used that credit card, and they sent me a letter saying, hey, you haven't used it, so we're closing it down. Right? At that point, all the banks were trying to get rid of all the risk and all the people who could potentially default on their loans, and they closed my card. And that sent me into a full panic. And so that's why I'm saying, don't count your credit card balance or your credit card availability or your available spending limit as part of your emergency fund. Don't do it. Because I'm telling you, when things get bad in the economy, they're going to start like reducing your credit limit, or they might just close your account altogether, man. So don't count on credit cards. Don't count on lines of credit. Don't count on being able to get a loan. You need cold, hard cash. Because let me tell you something. If you're doing anything creative, I was doing stand-up comedy at this time. I was doing stand-up comedy, and I was like, oh yeah, I'll be making money. And bro, it is so hard to be funny when you're hungry. When you are starving, you are literally a starving artist. A starving artist. Like if you are literally hungry, you can't, it's hard to be funny, man. I look back at those times and those days, and my stand-up comedy was straight up angry. Okay. So I'm not saying, I mean, if you're a plumber, I mean, if you're a hungry plumber, I guess you'll just be irritated, but you get what I'm saying? Like whatever thing you do, like it's just hard to do if you have no money, right? The whole purpose of the emergency fund is to provide a psychological buffer from you freaking out. Okay? That's the whole point of it. The emergency fund, the more money it's in there, the more months you have, the less likely you're going to freak out when things get tough. Because I promise you, when you're trying to do your new hustle, your new business, it's going to take time, right? Like I said, my first job doing video, I made $150, and I didn't make another $150 until maybe 2 weeks later. So my first month, I didn't do no $3,000. I did like $475, right? But because I got laid off, there was unemployment, and I had my 2.5 months. And so I was very scared, but I wasn't in a full-blown panic. And that's what you need to know. The emergency fund keeps you from going into a full-blown panic. Because unemployment, if you get it, if you quit, you don't get it, okay? We'll talk about unemployment later on, but you get fired, right? Or you walk off the job, you don't get unemployment. You only get it when you get laid off. And it's nice. You get extra money per week. You get your hustle money, right? You just have to like say you're looking for work and you'll get a check, okay? But again, emergency fund keeps you from losing your mind, especially if you have kids, especially if you have a wife or a spouse. You cannot afford to just be broke and not have any money in the bank, man. It's the worst feeling in the world, especially when you feel like you have a responsibility for other people, a child, a wife, a spouse, an aging parent, whatever the case may, a dog, whatever the case may be. Please do not attempt to go out there on your own without having an emergency fund, which is 3 to 6 months worth of your expenses. And if your expenses are crazy high, you need to figure out a way to get those expenses down. Okay? Downsize, roommate, whatever. But for the love of, please, just don't donate blood, okay? All right? Don't donate blood, please. You need your blood, right? And don't immediately run to the Uber Eats and the DoorDashes, because with that, you're just spending more of your time, probably time you could work on your business and practice, okay? Practice your craft. Make sure you're getting good at your craft. Don't just run from one job to do DoorDash. You'll never get better at your individual skill. You need to develop your skill, okay? Have the emergency fund. You're not panicking, not freaking out. Make small money at the beginning, develop your craft, get better at your craft, and then as you get better, you'll probably spend down your emergency funds, but as you start making more money with your skill, you'll start putting it back. It's going to be shaky in the beginning, but I promise you, it will work out as long as you keep your expenses low, get better at your skill, and always put your emergency fund money back when times are good. All right? That's all I got for now. We'll come back. continue our discussion. See you.